Well, this is a wonderful route for those of you that like to visit places as well as cycle. So we've got over in Pembrokeshire, which is on the west coast of Wales and the south, we've got this route that covers 4 different pilgrimage destinations. You can see where it is here, so there's 2 sort of promontories in Pembrokeshire, and the top one is St David's and the bottom one is this place around Marloes. So we're going to start over at St Bride's in the north, and then we head down south and then turn towards the west, go through Marloes out to St Martin's Haven. Then we return on a slightly different route and head all the way down to Dales and then St Anne's Head, which is where there's a disused lighthouse, and then we work our way back up around St Ishmael's Bay, St Ishmael's and the Monk's Bay there, and then we'll head back up towards St Bride's. Journey is about 37k, there's about 430 metres of climbing, and the surface is generally good except for that last bit where you head down towards Monk's Bay. So we're starting at St Bride's, we're heading out of the car park and we're just heading south, and haven't quite adjusted the camera yet, but you can see it's generally good surface road. They don't dig it up much because there are so few houses. So the road surface is generally excellent, although do watch out for that line of plant material that you often get growing around the centre of some of these more obscure roads that they've got there. One of the disadvantages of cycling in Pembrokeshire that we found is the hedges and walls are quite high, so you don't always get full view. So it's worth keeping your eye to the left and the right for gateways where you can see the horizon. But here we are, we just head south and you can see it's pretty quiet, and then the landscape does open out a little bit, and we're just turning right here, you can see in the cutout there, and then we're going to turn right again and start heading west. This was a beautiful day that we did it on, the skies were clear, the roads occasionally have cars on, but you can see there's not very many. And this is the height of summer, so this was the beginning of August. So we're heading off now towards Marloes, and we're going to stop dropping down. You can almost see the town in the distance. So we head into Marloes now, and there's a couple of routes around it, and we're going to take those alternative routes simply because it just makes it a little bit more interesting on the return journey. So we head through Marloes, not a bad little town, village really, but we're going to pass straight through it and head off towards St Martin's Haven. Now there's quite a bit of long climbing here. It's not difficult climbing, but it is long. But if you can get a view over the top of the hedges, there's some really nice views of the countryside around, and you can see the islands, and you can see out across even to St David's if you time it right. So here we are, a view from the very top of the hills. For those that like wildlife, it was quite spectacular. There were all sorts of what I would describe as migratory species that you can find there. So a lot of dragonflies and a lot of butterflies that you wouldn't expect to see elsewhere, like a clouded yellow. So we're now heading down this final bit. There's still a bit of climbing to do out of Marloes, and we get up to the top of the hill, and then the final descent is actually a bit brutal. So I would recommend, we're sort of heading down now quite fast, there's a really sharp turn, and then we stopped off at the toilets there, and you can top up with water as well, which is a really useful thing. So we've topped up with water, and now we just sat on the beach and we had a bit of lunch and watch the ferry come and go. The ferry goes out to Skomer. Some people are booking trips out to look at the puffins, but it's a bit late really in the season for that. You really want to go towards the end of May. So now we start heading back, and in fact we're not going to show you that little bit of journey. So here we are back actually all the way round, and we've headed down towards Dale, and we're just sitting on the seafront here at Dale. And now we're going to head down to St Anne's Head. So watch out for this. Is a really steep climb at this little point here, and it's steeper than you think it will be when you get there, but then you start heading up top of the hill, and it's a long climb up to the headland. So we're beginning to just level off now, still a bit of climbing to do, and then we drop down last minute just towards the old lighthouse, and I'm pretty sure it's owned by National Trust or something like that. Anyway, it's all pretty much closed off, so we had a bit of a look around, a bit of a walk, and then we turned round and we headed back inland towards Dale. But this time we're going to take a slightly different route, and you can see in the cutout there on the map we actually avoid the main part of the town. It's because there's a big one-way system, but we're now heading around the back, the older part of Dale, and back to where we took that initial picture. And now we're heading up the coast, keeping the coast to our right and following round to St Ishmael's with Monk's Bay. This road is a little bit busier, so you do have to be a bit careful, and it gets very narrow in other places as well. So this bit isn't too bad, but as you head nearer and nearer to St Ishmael's, the roads get narrower, but the traffic gets lesser. So just let a few vehicles past and now work our way round through these tiny little things into St Ishmael's, and we stopped and had a little wander round in the church, chatted with a lady who'd moved down there actually from where we live, and it was a really lovely place, very peaceful. And then you push your bike, really, you can ride it. It's not so easy with a tandem, and we just had to dump it there and just walk down to the coast, and you can see it's maybe an old monastery or something along that line that we've got down here out onto the bay. I'm sure it's been a smuggler's bay in the past, and the rocks are really hard and encrusted. Back we go again, so we start pushing our bike or riding as best we can in these little back road, cut round past the remains of the old monastery, and then we start heading back up the hill. The road is a bit of a strange road actually, because we were surprised as to the number of cars that were coming there in the evening. I suspect a lot of people live down at the coast, but we worked our way back up, and then you spiral round and you take that right hand turn and head back up towards St Bride's and St Bride's car park. We did stop a couple of times just here to have a look around at some of the views that you had and into the village, and then you drop down this quite serious drop down back to St Bride's. It's a really nice bay, quite popular, and there's toilets and a little church to come visit if you want, so quite a lot of interesting things to see. Here is our page, so we'd love it if you liked and followed our YouTube channel and leave a comment for us. It's really useful if you can, and you can follow the route and get a GPX. You see towards there on the right, download GPX file. That's really useful, so you can load that into your commute page, or you can load it onto your Garmin headset and use it to navigate the path that we took. This is available on our commute page, Paul and Diane on the Tandem. Search for us and you'll find it there. Anyway, we look forward to seeing you. We've got a couple more rides in Pembrokeshire, and then we're heading off back up to the Yorkshire Dales for some really great inspirational trips. Thanks very much, and bye for now.